So before we get into some of the Top Gear content, I just wanted to find out in the audience, those of you that have heard of the Adobe Digital Publishing Suite, if you could just raise your hand. So a lot of people familiar with the platform, and I just wanted to find out of those of you that are already familiar with the platform, how many of you are aware that we released a brand new version of the platform built from the ground up late this summer? Okay, so some of you as well. I just wanted to mention that we have downstairs in the exhibit hall, we have a lounge area where we have a couple of nice comfortable couches. We have some representatives from Adobe that'll be there to help answer any questions that you may have, give you a tour of the new platform, what the features are, and so on and so forth. Can we go to the next slide? Oh yeah, there we go. A little fast forward button. So really, and we're gonna get into a case study on this, but the new version of DPS, or DPS 2015, exists around 4 core principles. One is the ability to continuously publish new content into the app very fast and with lots of flexible ways, creating brand new engaging app experiences that do not represent a traditional print product. The ability to measure all of the activity of your users inside of those apps, and then a whole bunch of new tools around managing projects and users and contributors of content inside of your applications. So we have up here with us Simon Carrington. He's the publishing director of Top Gear, and he's going to talk about their transformation from a magazine-based app into more of a brand publishing app. Great, thank you.
Thanks, Ivan, for the introduction. So yes, my name's Simon Carrington. I'm the publishing director for BBC Top Gear magazine in the UK. I work for a company called Immediate Media, based in London, with a specialist content platform company. And we publish across a variety of formats, print, digital, live events, and online. But I work for the contract publishing division. So our biggest client is BBC Worldwide. BBC Worldwide wholly own the Top Gear brand, and so we publish magazines and digital and various products on their behalf. So yeah, as Ivan said, the title of the presentation today is Taking Mobile App Performance from Static to Sizzling. And what I want to talk to you about today is really the journey that Top Gear magazine has gone in specifically digitizing magazine content from print all the way through to the standard kind of digital magazines that you're probably all familiar with, and then through to a new product that we've produced, which has been in the App Store since about August this year. So I just wanted to play you that video just so that you're aware of kind of the position of Top Gear in the global publishing environment. Really, we publish across 32 international magazines. We have 12 international websites. We have a few international editions. So we have an awful lot of content to play with, really, in terms of our products. But before I start and talk specifically about the apps, I just wanted to tell you where we've come from, as I said, in terms of digitizing, specifically digitizing magazine content. So we started what feels like years and years and years ago, in 2011, where we produced what we said at the time was the world's first fully interactive motoring magazine. So every feature and every article in that magazine at the end of 2011 had a video attached to it, and you downloaded what we called a Top Gear magazine app at the time, and you showcased, you held your phone against the page, and lo and behold, a video played. And it was really interesting in 2 ways. We ran it as a sort of test for about 6 months. It's got tremendous engagement from readers of the magazine. The uptake and the downloads were significant. But B, and probably more importantly, it got the editorial team really, really thinking about how they could produce extra content from the existing work that they do, every day of the week when they're out on shoots, extra galleries, extra videos, And amazingly, it won a FIPP Innovation Award at the Digital Innovation Summit in 2012. So we're really proud of that. And then, like most publishers in the room, we created digital editions. So you can see Top Gear magazine on a PDF basis on an enormous multitude of platforms all over the place. It's a nice business model for us. We get decent subscriptions revenue. And then, kind of buoyed by the success of our print edition and the success of digital downloads, specifically on the Apple Store, we partnered up with Adobe back in 2012 to create our interactive edition. And I'll come on to more detail about that later. But it's been hugely successful for us. It's a really profitable business. We've won numerous awards. We get nominated for awards quite a lot. And then, so this autumn, we produced Top Gear Magazine Extra, kind of learning from everything that we took from the interactive edition and created Meg Extra. And it really was, Adobe rang us in about March, April time this year and said, do you want to be involved in as a product launch partner for the new DPS platform? And of course, we thought about it for 2 seconds and said, yes, we would. So just to go back to the current interactive edition, you've all seen interactive magazines out there. We think Top Gear magazine is one of the best on the market. And I stood on stage in Rome 2 years ago and told you all how wonderful it had gone. And we've grown it since then, and it's still an incredibly successful product for us. So we have a successful ad model. So we're carrying bespoke display ads in that magazine, 4 or 5 an issue. Every single creative solution that goes across print and digital is upsold into the interactive edition. It gets tremendous click-through rates. It gets tremendous ad engagement levels. So the advertising model and the advertisers are extremely pleased with it. When we went from PDF-based to interactive in those first 12 months, the volume of paid downloads in the App Store increased by 250%, which by far and away was the best graph I've ever seen. And it now accounts for 12% of our UK circulation. And as I said, we have a number of international editions. As an interactive product, it's great. It's the 4th biggest selling interactive magazine according to the ABC in the UK. Only The Economist sells more. So for a specialist title, we're extremely proud of that. And it's not really a surprise that Top Gear does so well in terms of its interactive audience, because actually the audience is spot on for these products. 74% own smartphones, 48% own tablets, 70% have downloaded a free app, and 38% have downloaded or paid to download an app. We also have the content that is absolutely perfect for a digital environment. Cars move and they make a noise, and the best motoring journalists in the world can't convey that in print as well as a video can. And we stuff our app full of videos and extra galleries. But, and there is a but, it is a static business. These are the download figures from the last 12 months of our interactive edition. So we started the year on 15,000 paid downloads, and we ended the year on 15,000 paid downloads. It's great. It delivers a significant subscriptions volume, but apart from the spikes that we get through some fairly innovative subs and promotions marketing, it's a static business for us. Now, you can see this graph can kind of work in 2 ways, really. You can either sit there and think, oh my goodness, digital magazines, look at the decline. I actually think of it as an opportunity, really, because for me that says that there are an awful lot of people going into the App Store on a monthly basis. What used to be Apple Newsstand is now the App Store. They are searching for Top Gear magazine content. They are downloading a Top Gear magazine app, and they are leaving the Top Gear magazine app without buying it. We convert about 3 to 4% of access to the app. So for me, that's just a huge opportunity. How can we get those 96% of people to actually engage further and purchase our digital edition? And just moving away from digital editions quickly, the IAB and PwC produced a report last week on digital ad spend for the first half of 2015. And there were some really interesting stats that came out of it. So of the total growth in digital advertising, 13% in the first half of 2015, 80% of that was attributable to mobile spend. Total mobile spend now accounts for over £1 billion, and that's just in the UK, while advertising on tablet accounts for £68 million. So 15 times the spend is going into mobile rather than tablet advertising. And then interestingly, native advertising growth is now 50% in the first half of 2015 to £325 million. Again, 5 or 6 times the spend that's going into tablet advertising. What's really interesting is of Top Gear Magazine's interactive edition, just 10% of it is on mobile. So very clearly, interactive magazines, digital magazines, call them what you will, are a tablet-based product. They are not a mobile-based product. And very clearly, in terms of the ad industry, mobile is where it's at, not tablet. And of course, you're going to hear a lot in the next couple of days about months to moments and 24/7 publishing, and Top Gear is absolutely no different. We have 32 international magazines, we produce a website, we produce digital editions, we have 20 million followers on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, like all publishers in the world, and actually we find ourselves with a digital magazine product that gets updated once a month. So all this wonderful content that we produce every day, every minute of the day, can't really sit in our digital product, which feels like we're missing a trick. So when Adobe, when they rang us in March and said, do you want to be involved? We said, yes, absolutely, of course. But we wanted to learn from all the great stuff we've done in our sort of what we call a classic app, the old edition, and we set ourselves 7 really clearly defined objectives. So we wanted to break that monthly publishing cycle. As I said, we produce content every minute of the day, so why don't we allow consumers to access that? We wanted to increase user engagement. The existing app is once a month is published, and so users are engaging with it once or twice a month. Why can't they publish? Why can't they engage with it every week or every day? A dynamic mobile product. A digital magazine is a tablet product, not a mobile product, and we really should be in the mobile space. Top Gear does really well commercially. It's a significant revenue stream for us, the old app, but how can we learn from the old and build revenues on the new? Digital editions are hugely expensive to produce, especially when it's of the quality that Top Gear is. We have a full-time team of designers producing a monthly product that is not in growth. So we clearly need to introduce some production efficiencies into the business. Explore new content types. It's a digital format, so why are we just repurposing magazine pages once a month and publishing them? We produce a whole host of content, short form, long form, so that should be in a digital environment. And finally, we wanted to be able to harness customer feedback. With the existing app, all we can do really is take it into focus groups, and that's it's a 4 or 6 week process to get feedback. So we really wanted to find a way to talk to readers directly, learn from them, iterate new products, and build on that. But I've got I don't want to do a live demo of the app for you because that's obviously fraught with danger. So I've got a very quick video that hopefully takes you through step by step about the product, and then I'm just going to come back and talk to you sort of at the various stages of the product, and you can see how it's evolved. Apologies for the music, it's not the best, but it does a job. So, the old app is on your left, the new app is on your right, and I guess the old app, that screen there is the storefront of the new app, and that's the screen that 96% of our readers, or 96% of our downloaders are looking at and then leaving. And I guess it's because we think it's because they want some content in a digital space, and the first thing they see is sales messages, $3.99, $35.99, free issue here if you download this, and all sorts of messages. And actually, the new one on the right-hand side, my right, yeah, you're right, is the new app, both in mobile and iPad tablet format. And you can see instantly it's a more engaging product. It's a more engaging thing to look at. You're straight into the content. You can look at the magazine content by pressing the magazine cover. You can look at the news feed by pressing the news feed. And as you scroll up and down the page, there's other cards, other blocks of content that you can access immediately. You no longer have to you no longer have to spend $3.99, download an issue, wait 4 or 5 minutes for it to download, go to the contents page, press the one you want to see, wait for some more download time. So you're instantaneously into the content, and we think that makes a huge difference. There are 3 things that are specifically different about new Top Gear Magazine Extra. So we have a live news feed. So every day the editorial team can produce 1 story, 2 story, 10 stories, 100 stories, however many they want, and they can produce it, and it will instantly go into the app. There's no need to republish. There's no need to upload new templates. It's an instantaneous live news feed. We present the magazine content in a different way. So as I said before, you have to go to the contents page, look what you want, scroll through the magazine, and after a few minutes you'll find the content that you want. In the new format, it's all presented in this card layout, these big boxes. So if you want to read what Chris Evans says this month about Top Gear, you press Chris Evans and you're straight into that feature. If you want to read about the Bentley Bentayga, which is a strange looking car, you can press the Bentley Bentayga and you're straight into that content. So it's instantaneously engaging the audience. And of course there's new ad opportunities. So as I said, Top Gear Magazine does really well on advertising in its digital edition, but it's a very linear format. It's exactly the same as you would treat a magazine. So you scroll through your features and then you come up with an ad, and you can either engage in it or scroll through with it. Actually, what this does is in those blocks, you can place adverts. So imagine if that Bentley Bentayga, which is the big one in the middle, was an advert, a video advert. So instantly, which I do believe is in Adobe's roadmap, that could be a video. That would probably be one of the most engaging ad formats in our industry. And I think that's coming pre-Christmas, so we're very excited about that. I mentioned the production issues that we have for digital magazines. So in the old world, we take print PDFs. We have a designer or 2 reformatting those PDFs, 1 for tablet, 1 for iPhone. It takes an awful long time, and it's an extremely expensive way of recreating content that's already been created once. We're essentially creating page layouts 3 or 4 times every month, which is daft. So what we have in the new app is two ways of producing content. We can either use the InDesign files, so we can produce the really exciting, glossy, shiny content that's synonymous with a normal digital magazine, but we can also integrate HTML into it. So we work with Woodwing on this. So the news feed is all done in HTML. So what happens is that the design team can come in the morning, within 10 minutes, they can produce 3 or 4 news stories that can go live into the app in that timescale. And that's because the HTML coding is really working. So we've taken a print magazine team. We spent an awful long time encouraging them to work in the digital space for the old app, and then we've taken it on a step further, so they're now almost becoming semi-coders and producing HTML content. The results so far. So really interesting stats. So as I said, we wanted to harness user feedback in the app. So one of the blocks on the home page is a questionnaire. So we've asked readers what they think about how often they're visiting the site, how much they'd be prepared to pay for it, what content they want to see, how they're accessing it. So 67% are visiting the news feed, so that's fantastic. But amazingly, 56% are visiting weekly and 44% are visiting daily. Now, if you think that that's gone from an interactive magazine where people are coming in maybe once a month, twice a month, to actually get engagement, 44% visiting every day is a tremendous result for us. And actually 65% are mobile. So remember I said 10% are accessing a digital magazine on a mobile phone at the moment. Well, on Top Gear Magazine Extra, 65% are accessing on a mobile phone. So I just really wanted to reiterate our objectives. So break the monthly publishing cycle. Yes, absolutely. I think we've done that just by introducing the news feed and presenting the magazine content in a different way. Increasing user engagement. The early stats are encouraging. They're coming back weekly, daily, so that's great. And we have created a dynamic mobile product. I think it's a better looking product. It clearly works on mobile phones and the stats are there. New commercial and ad revenue opportunities. We're not quite there yet. We have got some ad formats on there, but with the stats we have, we'll be going to market in the coming weeks to encourage advertisers to explore that. And again, with video introduction, then that's exciting. Production efficiencies, yes, we now have a team who are producing HTML content, print designers who are creating HTML content every day, first thing in the morning, and uploading it to the site, so that's great. Exploring new content types. At the moment, we just have the news in there, but as Top Gear produces content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, then there's clearly an opportunity to put other stuff in there. And because of the card layout, we can just drop in new content ideas whenever we want. We don't have to go back into old DPS and test and iterate in that way. And harness customer feedback and test some new ideas. So as I said, we do have this questionnaire format in as one of the cards, and we're certainly taking that and learning as we go. And then what's next, really? I guess the biggest thing is migration. So I have an existing app which renews at about 75-80%. So the biggest challenge we have is getting those 75-80% of our subscriber base and taking them into the new app for us. We're going to launch it, consumer launch. At the moment, it's just been in the App Store. We haven't done any marketing or promotion on it. We've just wanted to understand how the users are reacting to it, and we've done that. And then we need to explore the metering. So we also need to charge the users at some point for the content. At the moment, it's completely free. So we'll be exploring various price points over the coming weeks and months. The ad opportunity is an interesting one, specifically around video and mobile. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Can I just ask a couple of questions, Simon? Where do you see, and I know this is still very much a testing stage, where do you see this fitting in? Because presumably we're talking about a 24/7 feed updated.
Yep.
From the user's point of view, are they going to drop their issue-based app, or do you see them holding on to both?
No, the plan would be to migrate them from the issue-based app into the new one, because all the content from the issue-based app is now in Top Gear Magazine Extra.
Right, okay.
It's just presented in a different way in the card format, and there's extra stuff in there.
Yes.
So the idea is to, we know there's a market for digital magazine content on tablet and mobile, but I want them to access it every day.
But you want to migrate them onto that and let it. Is the PDF version still alive, or is that dead?
Yeah. The PDF is on Zinio, the Kiosk, all the providers, and we have a number of subscribers, and I think there's a market for that, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a big market.
I mean, isn't this the scary thing about digital? Is that it's fragmenting? That actually there are people who still like a page-turning PDF and feel comfortable with that. So you're going to keep all these in parallel.
Yep. But the page-turning PDF doesn't involve any extra investment or work. It takes the PDFs.
Yes.
The challenge is to improve upon the interactive edition, because we know that the readers want We know there's a market for that content. I just think historically we and the industry haven't been given that content in a way that the user wants it.
And you're obviously going to test price points,
Yep.
but lying behind that is the assumption that this is a paid-for product, Magazine Extra.
Yep.
And would you bundle it with existing subscribers in order to transfer people over more quickly?
We haven't done bundling historically at Immediate Media. It's on the roadmap of things to try. So, but I think it's a standalone product in its own right. We've certainly proved that with the old Top Gear product. So bundling is a question, I'd say.
Right. Loads more questions. Any final questions before you shoot off to lunch? Just hurl the talk box at you. All right.